JR Afternoon on WJR. Here's Ryan Ermanni.
Hey, let's go on a Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Ryan Ermanni, JR Afternoon. Beth Ann Long is here. Danielle Mason across the glass. Rich Lazinski as well. Thanks for making us part of your day wherever you are in the city, in the state, in the world. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on JR Afternoon. And I am going to tell you all the different ways you can listen to us, of course, on the radio, 760 WJR, WJR.com. You can listen live anywhere on your tablet, however you want to do it. We've got the free mobile app as well, 760 WJR. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the best part, I think. And I've gotten a lot of positive reaction to this, Beth Ann Long. And that is the new YouTube stream that we are doing. You can watch us on your phone, on your tablet, on your TV. If you just want us up in the background while you're going about your business, just go to YouTube. Search 760 WJR. You can subscribe to the show. It doesn't cost you anything. That just makes it a little bit more easy to find for you in the coming days or whenever you want to listen to us. Pop us on 760 WJR on YouTube. What do you think, Beth Ann?
I love being on YouTube. I think it's so fun.
You know who also loves being on YouTube? My kids think it's cool that we're on YouTube. How about that?
That's so
My
cute.
kids think it's cool. Oh, Dad's on YouTube. How about it? But nonetheless, you can watch us on YouTube there anytime you want, live, of course. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to talk in the 2 o'clock hour at 2:48. We'll talk to Tony Paul, staff writer for the Detroit News. The Detroit Tigers have left FanDuel Sports Network. What does that mean? How are we going to be able to watch the Detroit Tigers this year? And they are not the only Major League Baseball team to leave FanDuel Sports Network. So we'll check in with Tony about how we're going to go about watching Tigers baseball this year. Also, we're excited to talk to John James, Michigan Congressman, of course, the United States Congressman from the great state of Michigan. He is running for governor here in this state. Big lead when it comes to the primary, if you believe the polls. Big lead when it comes to some of the financing on the Republican side of things. So we'll check in with John James about how the campaign is going. I know they just released some fundraising news as well. And look, what are his plans for the state of Michigan? When it comes to education, we're near the bottom. When it comes to the economy and median household income, we are towards the bottom. That was a report in the Detroit News earlier today. Michigan ranks 37th out of 50 states when it comes to median household income. So we'll talk to John James about all of those things. But before I get to Marie, I do want to share some good news with you. And Beth Ann, I think this is welcome news to you as well. I saw on a 10-day forecast earlier today that Alan Longstreet was putting together, I saw a 40 on the screen. It was a 40, and there was just a gasp all throughout the studio. We were very excited to see this 40. Yeah, I know. It still had to be about. It's going to be in about 10 days from now, but it was on a 10-day forecast.
I'm so excited. That should be like a state holiday. The first 40-degree weather.
Right. It doesn't it feel, ladies, like it would be about a 60, 65-degree day when it's 40 out there?
Oh, yeah. Even when we hit like 25 over the weekend and it was sunny, I was like, this is great. I'm fine with this.
Seriously, I know. It's unbelievable. No wind in 25. That's what the winter has brought us to our knees, ladies and gentlemen. We're cheering for no wind in 25. Meanwhile, let's get you caught up on some news now. Michigan's race for governor entering 2026 with fresh fundraising numbers as well. The latest reports show significant shifts in the financial strengths across the field. WJR's Marie Osborne with a look at the numbers. Hey, Marie, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, Ryan. I'm glad to hear about that 40. I got all excited too.
Yeah, exactly.
So we know very well that politics really runs on money. That's very important. So we're taking an early look here at how these. How the governor's race is shaking out in terms of dollars and cents. So, over the final 2 months of 2025, the Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson brought in over just under $1 million. It's the largest haul among all the candidates. Her campaign ended the year with roughly $3.6 million on hand in her war chest. Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson, who was her challenger, raised far less. He spent more than he collected during that same period. And on the Republican side, the former Attorney General Mike Cox holds the largest cash reserve, entering the new year with more than $4 million available to him. But it also includes a large personal loan that he made to his campaign. Among the GOP contenders, Congressman John James posted the highest fundraising figure for the period, bringing in more than $800,000 and starting 2026 with about $2.4 million in his account. This State Senate Minority Leader Eric Nesbitt followed with just over $2.2 million available. Now, other Republican hopefuls reported smaller totals. Now, Perry Johnson, you've heard that he's entered the race. We don't have his war chest right now because he came into the race after the reporting window closed. But we'll get more on that, I'm sure, in the coming months. Outside of these two major parties, though, we have former Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. He's running as an independent. He brought in over $600,000 and ended 2025 with about $2.7 million. That's ready to spend for him. And Ryan, as you know, primary election is set for August 4th, and the general election is on November 3rd.
And no doubt about it, Marie, I think you nailed it off the top. I mean, right now it is about fundraising and money and how long you can stay in on these primary battles specifically. How long can you go before anybody even sees a proposal from you? Do you have any money to last that long? So that's a very important part of our politics today, how much money you have. Marie, we'll check in with you. And just keep you here for a second. I know you were watching this Nancy Guthrie press conference too. This is just absolutely unbelievable. Just some of the quotes from here as I was watching, Marie. John Edwards, FBI special agent in charge, pleading with the public's help. We need your help. Chris Nanos, Pima County Sheriff, says, we don't know where she is. He also said that the home, their involvement in the home, law enforcement's involvement in the home is now done. They have turned that over to the family. Marie, for the life of me, I can't understand with all these cameras in the world there are today and with DNA, because there was a blood trail apparently. Didn't say how much or how little, but there was some blood on the trail out, that they can't give us anything more than that.
Something we have to keep in mind, and I know this is all disheartening to hear all of this, and I got the same message that you did, that wow, we don't have anything, can you help us out, to the public. But we have to remember that so many times law enforcement will keep much under their hat,
Yes,
a lot of
true.
details under their hats. You'll remember that murder of the dentist and the wife down in Columbus recently, that for days and days, there was no suspect. We don't know who did this. And then bang, all of a sudden, here you go. They've got the person, law enforcement got the person they think who did it, the ex-husband. Okay. So a lot of times it comes as a surprise like that. And maybe I'm hoping they're keeping something to themselves, and maybe they have some ideas, but they're not. They just need more evidence and more. They just need more evidence to kind of make the case. I don't know, because looking at what that we're seeing right now, just on face value, if I was that family, I would just be utterly devastated.
I'm glad you raised that point, Marie. And I do think that is absolutely worth keeping a focus on. I just watched the documentary on Netflix about the abduction of Elizabeth Smart, somebody they took right out of her bedroom as well. And one of the things, the push-pull between when to go public and what to keep, what to withhold from the public, as not to spook the person who had her. for
Yes.
lack of a better way to say it. So very important point. I'm glad you said that. So we hope that's the case.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
right?
no
Let's
doubt
hope.
about it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check in with you next
Thank
hour,
you.
Marie. Still no news regarding the government shutdown. There was a procedural vote that passed, but now the government shutdown is still partially shut down. What will happen to that? I'm going to tell you why this may not be a problem in the coming years. Oh, look at this. Breaking news. You can't draw this up. Breaking news right now. The House has passed the government funding bill by a razor-thin margin. And, man, you can't make that up. Incredible. Just as I'm saying it, just flashes on the screen right here. So the House passes a government funding by the skin of their teeth. I believe the Republicans lost one vote. No Democrats voted for this. But why these votes may not be as razor-thin in the future. We'll talk about the population shift that's happening in this country. We'll do that next. 760 WJR.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Maple Grove Farms Pure Maple Syrup. Back in 1915, Maple Grove Farms started a sweet tradition on a Vermont family farm. Fast forward a century, and they're still pouring the magic onto your plate. Make mornings legendary. Grab your Maple Grove Farms Pure Maple Syrup bottle at Walmart today, and let the goodness flow.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. This year, don't just get a tax refund, upgrade it. Turn your refund into a bigger return with a brand new roof from Weather Seal Home Improvements. Right now, they'll add an extra $1,000 to your refund toward your new roof. That's a smart deal. Book today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net. We have an accident blocking your left lane on I-696 westbound at Gratiot. Construction slowing you down on I-696 eastbound from Orchard Lake Road just past Franklin Road. 2 left lanes are blocked there. And some good news, that accident on I-96 eastbound after the Southfield Freeway has cleared. They finally cleaned all of that up. Traffic is now flowing freely there. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
A good push of cold air continuing to push back in here. Temperatures tomorrow morning maybe about 10 degrees colder than earlier today. 25, partly sunny today. Tonight, a few clouds around, down around 6-7 degrees. Suburbs may be closer to 0, especially west and north. And Wednesday, pretty good looking day with sunshine, but a little bit colder, 22. Thursday, partly sunny, 25, and maybe some snow in here Friday, which could start Thursday night after midnight. Friday's high near freezing, 32. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Kick back with Lomas Brown and Anthony Bellino. An hour of smart, fun, Detroit-style sports talk. Insight, interviews, and laughs. Everything you need to stay in the game on Sports Wrap. 6 to 7 p.m. on 760 WJR.
.760 WJR. The House just passed a bill ending a partial government shutdown, 217 to 215. These votes are razor thin in the House, and maybe they won't be as close in the coming years, potentially now, because of what's happening in the population shift that's occurring in this country. And I want to remind everybody, want to thank everybody for listening on 760 WJR, and also invite everybody to check us out if you are at your home. If you're heading home, pop us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search 760 WJR. You could watch the show, have us up in the background as you go about your day. So what am I talking about here? There is something major happening in this country, and it is in the form of a population shift. And if the 2025 population shift that has occurred holds up for 2030, the states that Kamala Harris won in 2024 would lose about 7 House seats. And the states that Donald Trump won in 2024 would gain about 7 House seats. And that would be a big deal when it comes to the presidency of the United States as well, because right now the blue wall, the path for Democrats is fairly I don't want to say simple. It's not simple, clearly, because of the person that resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right now. But the path for the Democrats, you win that blue wall, you win Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, that's 270 electoral votes. But if the current population trend continues, even if Democrats won Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin in the future, that would only get them to 263 electoral votes, not enough to win the presidency. Why is this happening? Net domestic migration. From July 1st, 2024 to July 1st, 2025, states that have gained the most population in this country. Ready for this? North Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Nevada. Those states, people are moving into those states. Those states, all 10 of them, all happen to be states that Donald Trump won in 2024. Where are they moving from? Where are these people coming from that are moving into those states? Okay, now states losing the most population. California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Louisiana, Maryland, Colorado, Hawaii, and Connecticut. Kamala Harris won 9 out of 10 of these states. Trump won Louisiana, of course. So this population shift that has occurred from 2024 to 2025, this is remarkable. And if it continues, when the new census comes out, you're going to have more representation in North Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Nevada, and you will have less representation in California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Louisiana, Maryland, Colorado, Hawaii, Connecticut. That is a big, big deal when it comes to the trend that is happening in terms of population. Why do you think that is? Why are people leaving Democratic states and moving into Republican states? 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. That is not an opinion. That is hardcore numbers. And remarkable. And if it continues to go down that path, it is going to be really, really hard, or it is going to take a dramatic shift from the Democratic Party to get those voters back, to broaden out your map to the point where, winning Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin will not be enough to win the presidency. So I've got that out there on the table for you. And then there's this piece of information as well. When it comes to voting, and again, feel free, 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. I'm going to get to that. I'll get to the phones momentarily. I wanted to do this as well. We'll throw a lot at you here. At the Grammy Awards on Sunday, rapper Nicki Minaj was made fun of by host Trevor Noah. Plenty of shade being thrown toward her from those in the entertainment business. She calls herself President Trump's number one supporter, and you obviously cannot do that in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry. Now, Nicki Minaj posted earlier this week, this is on her social media, what sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge, leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID. Like, they're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? That is the end of the post. Now, it has brought up renewed calls for Congress to pass the SAVE Act. What is the SAVE Act, you ask? It's a bill that requires individuals to provide proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. And it passed in the House in April. It actually passed twice in the House, and it will probably have to pass a third time. But it was never really taken up by the Senate because it takes 60 votes to pass in the Senate. There are only 54 Republicans. So in order to pass this, you would need to eliminate the filibuster, or you would attach it to a spending bill. However you want to go about passing it, that's up to you, whether you intend to pass it at all. Now, Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, labeled this SAVE Act dead on arrival. He compared the SAVE Act to Jim Crow-style restrictions that could disenfranchise 21 million citizens without easy document access. He also promised to block any funding bill that it was attached to. But despite that rhetoric, how are voter ID laws viewed by people? Not how they're viewed by lawmakers, not by how they're viewed by mainstream media. How are voters, how do American citizens actually feel about voter ID? Well, I'm going to let you hear how they feel about that. And we'll do that next. Chief CNN data chief, my guy, Harry Enton. Harry Enton of CNN has new polling on this. We will play that for you next. Now, there isn't a lot that shocks me. I was shocked to hear some of these numbers. If you want to weigh in on it, 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. A couple of things in play here. One, population shift that's happening. People are leaving states that Kamala Harris won in 2024 and moving into states that Donald Trump won. That's not an opinion. That is what is happening. And also, how do people feel about voter ID? 760 WJR.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Catch From Glory Days, Veterans Edition, sponsored by VetLife, every Sunday at 6 a.m. Inspirational stories about our veterans as they transition from military service to civilian life. More Glory Days Veterans Editions every Sunday at 6 a.m. on 760 WJR.
At Average House Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
760 WJR, custom built for Detroit.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. The House of Representatives has just passed a funding package that would reopen the government. So partial government shutdown is over. The spat here was over funding for the Department of Homeland Security. House Democratic Caucus Vice Chair Ted Lieu scrutinizing DHS operations.
Trump's ICE and Border Patrol interior operations are out of control. And not only did they kill 2 civilians last month, but you see continuing videos and stories of their abuses.
The U.S. military shot down an Iranian drone that aggressively approached a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
CENTCOM acted both appropriately and necessarily to protect our U.S. personnel and equipment in the region. So CENTCOM did make the decision to shoot down that Iranian drone.
America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
Your roadway is reduced to 3 lanes on I-696 westbound between I-75 and Losser. That's causing slow traffic from 11 Mile. 14 Mile eastbound closed for repairs between Walled Lake Drive and Novi Road. That's until mid-February. That wreck on I-696 westbound at Gratiot has cleared, and construction blocks right lane on Groesbeck Highway northbound between Common Road and 13 Mile. That's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily through February 13th. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Variable clouds and snow showers with a high of 28 today. Mostly cloudy tonight will drop down to 11. Partly cloudy tomorrow, a high of 23. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR traffic and weather first.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principium talking about planning for retirement. And boy, did he bring home a great point. As I'm looking at the price of coffee or the price of beef going up, it makes me anxious.
Yeah, and it should. Look, the reality is that when you have a firm like ours, we don't traditionally lose clients. So they're long, ongoing relationships, and communication is key. When someone calls me 6 months or 1 year into a plan that we've built, and they say, "Chris, you know, we've been drawing $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month from our portfolio, but we're becoming a little bit uncomfortable. The savings account is becoming a little bit dry." Great. That's why we built it the way we did, because I know that if we're operating at a minimum and we need to twist that dial up, right, and really pad the coffers a little bit more, we have the ability to do that. My job is to tell you, if the capital you have saved up is not capable mathematically of providing the income you need, you either need to work longer or adjust your expenditures.
Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Wake up tomorrow with JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR. Right now, it's JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermanni.
Listen, today at 3:34, it'll be your chance to win tickets to see Tim McGraw in concert August 28th at Pine Knob Music Theater. So that's today at 3:34. We'll give those tickets away to Tim McGraw. Also, 3:18 today, we're going to be talking to United States Congressman John James, Michigan gubernatorial candidate. Big lead when it comes to the polling on the Republican side, big lead when it comes to the fundraising on the Republican side. So we'll talk to him about all of those things. Let me get to Brett in Troy, wants to talk about voter ID. Hey, Brett, you're on 760 WJR. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi, Ryan. Love the show.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Not a big fan of Nicki Minaj's music, but she is spot on as far as voter ID goes. I kind of liken non-citizens voting in our elections as inviting somebody into your home and then them thinking they have a say in the way you run your household.
That's a pretty good way to look at it, Brett. I never considered that, but that's a really good way to look at it. And look, this is not something, if you just go by, and Brett, thanks so much for the call, my friend. Call back anytime. If you just go by how this is talked about on TV, if you just go by what some lawmakers on the Democratic side of the aisle, I mean, Chuck Schumer said, where is it here? Chuck Schumer said that this is talking about the SAVE Act, which requires voter ID, an ID to vote in the country, compared it to Jim Crow-style restrictions that could disenfranchise 21 million citizens without easy document access. If you go by all this, you're like, oh, man, everybody's divided on this. This is not a divisive issue. I couldn't believe my ears when I saw today on CNN what the American people feel about photo ID. The question is, how many people favor a photo ID to vote? Simple question. Here's what chief data analyst at CNN says.
So take a look here. Favor voter ID to vote. Look, I got all this polling on the screen going back since 2018. You'll notice on all of it, it's all north of 75%, 76%, 76%, 76%, 81%, and then 83% in the last year of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj. They favor photo ID to be able to vote.
83% of the American people are in favor of photo ID to vote. 83%. And you're saying, why is Harry Enton invoking the name Nicki Minaj? Well, she posted about it earlier this week. She said that what sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID. Like they're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? So, okay, so we've got 83% of the American people in favor of photo ID. Okay, so if you break it down by party, surely this is all Republicans who want voter ID, right?
Normally, you might expect, hey, there'd be a big divide by party with Republicans really for it and Democrats really against it. But not really here. I mean, just take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. You got 95% of Republicans, pretty much all of them, but even 71% of Democrats favor photo ID to vote. So again, Nicki Minaj posting that on X. And what you see is that the American people, actually, it's not really all that controversial. The American people are with Nicki Minaj, whether they are Republican or even if they are Democrats. We're talking about 7 in 10 Democrats agreeing with Nicki Minaj that you, in fact, should show a voter photo ID to vote.
I was actually shocked by that. And I don't know, maybe it's just because of how it's presented on television sometimes, or a lot of time when you raise this topic up. I would have never guessed that 71% of Democrats favor this. Never in a million years. Now, Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, he compared having voter ID or passing voter ID laws, he compared it to Jim Crow-style restrictions. What if you break this down by race? Here's what Enton had.
I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here. Favor photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
I am stunned. I would have never guessed that in a million years. 82% of Latinos agree with and want some form of photo ID. 76% of Black and brown Americans want voter ID here to vote. 71% of Democrats want voter ID to vote. 83% of Americans want voter ID to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, please name another topic you would have this level of agreement on. Go. And you hear silence because there's crickets. Is there another topic that would have this lopsided of a universal number on among parties, among races? Why not? And here's where I question what our lawmakers in Washington are doing. It's like, I try not to be some conspiracy theorist here, and I'm certainly not trying to go down this road. But when you have in this environment, in this politically charged environment where you have people fighting with each other like crazy, people not seeing eye to eye on anything, if there is one topic that universally is overwhelmingly in the majority to go do, why aren't our lawmakers running to the Senate chamber, running to the House chamber? Well, the House passed it twice. But why are our senators not running to the Senate chamber to pass this? That does make you think something else is at play here. And I cannot for the life of me figure it out. And when you have an issue like this, that is literally an 80-20 issue, not a 50-50 issue, not a 60-40 issue. It literally is an 80-20 issue. Why a Republican, a Democrat wouldn't get on the same page and run to the chamber to go vote for a bill that passes something. And then you can go back to your constituents and say, see, we did this. We got this done. We can work together. We can improve our country. Why is it not done yet? John in Sterling Heights, you're on 760 WJR.
Question for you. Where can you vote by not showing ID?
Well, probably in a lot of places because this is such a big issue.
I just wonder why. Because I vote.
Well, different states have different rules, John. Voting is done by the states. So states, different states. You can vote without an ID in California. You can vote.
That's stupid.
You can vote without an ID in Oregon. You can vote without an ID in Washington State. So different states have different rules. That's why you can do it.
I just wondered why.
Yeah. Well, that
all you got to do is make it standard show ID, and that's it.
John, It's incredibly the question. It's in some. I get accused of asking obvious questions a lot. Maybe some would say I'm not that deep of a thinker. I would say it's because when you ask people easy questions, it's really hard to come up with an answer as to not doing it. Why wouldn't you just pass this? Again, this is what the American people want. Why wouldn't you do it? Let me get to Dan in Farmington. Dan, you're on 760 WJR. How you doing, Dan?
Great. How are you?
Doing good,
hey,
buddy.
I would like you. WJR has great power. Why don't you get our senators from Michigan on your radio to interview them and ask them why they are not behind this?
We have asked, I have asked, we have asked over and over and over again. I can't force anybody to come on with me, Dan. Can't force anybody to come on. But I have asked. I have offered my entire 2-hour show in the past.
They won't do it.
No. I mean, not yet. Not yet. I have offered the whole show. I just
with those kinds of numbers, they should be on there.
No doubt about it. You got something else real quick?
Silent about it.
Yep, no doubt.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Everybody on hold, if you want to continue this, I can take it at the top of the hour. I do want to take a minute to pivot and talk a little Tigers baseball. Where in the world are we going to watch the Tigers this year? Tony Paul will help us with that. 760 WJR.
Making waves at a new location.
The Progressive Detroit Boat Show moves to Novi.
We like big boats.
You will too.
Step aboard cruisers to 45 feet.
Ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, and more.
Got a boat? Shop engines, electronics, and accessories.
Meet Captain Lee from Below Deck on Bravo TV.
Don't miss the Detroit Boat Show at a new location. Suburban Collection Showplace, Novi. February 12th through 15th.
Tickets at DetroitBoatShow.net.
It's time to buy that boat.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage. Donors are needed now to make sure patients across the country receive life-saving care. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
Catch School Talks with Dr. Robert Livernoy.
On the program this week, we'll chat with some students who are the best of the best, doing career-focused work while still in high school.
I've learned a lot of technical skills. CAD, I will say, is definitely the most influential of all of the skills I've learned because that is so widely used when it comes to engineering. It's an amazing skill to have when you want to become an engineer.
School Talks, Sundays at 3 on WJR. WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
We have an accident blocking your left shoulder on I-96 westbound there. After the Davison, 14 Mile Road eastbound, closed for repairs between Walled Lake Drive and Novi Road. That's until mid-February. The roadway is still reduced to 3 lanes on I-696 westbound between I-75 and Losser. That's causing slow traffic from 11 Mile. And 24 Mile Road westbound, closed for construction between Jewel Road and Van Dyke. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
The cold weather sticks around and maybe some snow getting in here as soon as late Thursday night, Friday. And that's when we get back to freezing. About 25 today, partial sun this afternoon. Tonight, some clouds around and a bit colder than earlier today. Down around 6, suburbs colder. Good looking Wednesday, low 20s, mostly sunny. Thursday, partly sunny, 25. And we'll have that chance of snow late Thursday night to Friday with a high Friday near 32. On the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Everybody on hold, I'll get to you at 3:05. I do want to talk about the Detroit Tigers right now, but as I'm doing that, I see a major trade in the NBA. The Pistons involved in a 3-team deal. Sham Charania of ESPN reporting that the Pistons are trading Jaden Ivey to the Chicago Bulls. They will receive, as part of this 3-team deal, Kevin Huerta, Dario Saric, and a first-round pick in 2026. So more on that from Steve Courtney towards the end of the show. But Tony Paul joining us now from the Detroit News. And Tony, I got to ask you, I am so confused about where we're going to watch our Detroit Tigers this year. They have left FanDuel Sports Network. Where in the world will they live in 2026?
Yeah, it's interesting, Ryan. It's been a long time coming. With the FanDuel situation, it was kind of up in the air last offseason. It got worse this offseason. It's been a question I get more maybe than just about anything outside of Tarek Skubal when talking to Tiger fans. Here's the deal. You're going to be able to, and we've talked about this before, you're going to be able to watch the Tigers in 2026 on streaming or television, regardless of how this shakes out. Here's what I know. The Tigers are widely expected to leave. They have already left FanDuel, by the way. They still have the option to renegotiate based on how things go. So the news that they've left, that had happened already. They had already opted out of their contract. But the odds are they're definitely not going to be on FanDuel next year. What I'm hearing is that 95% likelihood they'll be making the shift, like a lot of teams, to the MLB media umbrella, which is MLB TV, which, yes, is another subscription fee. I think it's like, if you buy it by the month, it might be around $30. Most of the games are probably going to be there for streaming purposes. There'll be, I'm hearing, probably some over-the-air games, maybe 5, maybe 10 on one of the local TV stations for free, but it will not be the full schedule like some people are hoping, but it'll be a select number of games. And then the Tigers will be on national TV at least 16 times this coming year. But again, that's a variety of networks: Fox, NBC, Peacock, ESPN, TBS, Apple. Major League Baseball likes to spread their baseball out. So those are the 3 places you're going to get to watch. But MLB TV is where you're going to see most of the Tiger games. Now, the one concern everyone has is, well, they got to buy another subscription. Here's the reality, and people don't talk about this. If the Tigers make the shift to MLB TV, there will be a spot on MLB TV for Tiger games on your cable package. If you have a cable subscription, they will still be on your cable package. So if you have cable that carries FanDuel, you're going to be able to get MLB TV on your cable. If you don't have cable, you'll need to shift to the MLB TV subscription price of about $30 a month.
That is the point of all points there. And I think, look, a lot of people that still have a cable box, that still like that Xfinity remote. It's very important to be able to pull up the Tigers on TV. I guess, Tony, what do you think the appetite is for Tiger fans or the people of this state, essentially, the metro area, but the state of Michigan really, to have another subscription? I mean, I know it's the world we live in, but is there a delicate balance that the organization understands as well, that, hey, we need some TV money here, but at the same time, we don't want to price our fans out of watching us on a nightly basis?
Oh, yeah, but the reality is this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's shifting away from cable. I mean, You probably have a ton of streaming subscriptions. I have it. I get frustrated by it, but it's just the reality. If I want to watch that, I know I got to have that. And so it's just the world we live in now. It's the model revenue stream that a lot of these places are going to. Major League Baseball specifically is trying to make a push to eventually get all, or at least the heavy majority of teams under one umbrella. Yeah, it's frustrating. But again, I will stress that in all likelihood, it's not going to be very dissimilar from the situation now. If you have cable and they go to MLB TV, there will be an MLB channel that you will have access to on your cable. If you don't, then you have to get another subscription. But I would say that big-time Tiger fans probably had the FanDuel subscription for a monthly, and now they'll pay for the MLB TV, which is a little bit more expensive, but relatively comparable. So not a lot's going to change, but the reality is we're all frustrated by this. But it's just the world we live in now.
And
things change, things evolve, and here we are.
No doubt about it. Talking to Tony Paul of the Detroit News, and Tony, even last year, right when the Tigers returned to FanDuel Sports Network, you needed that elevated package, that elevated sports package on Xfinity to even get FanDuel Sports Network. So people were paying for it, or you weren't paying for it.
Right.
One way or the other. Let me ask you just about the team itself. And you had mentioned Tarek Skubal. It appears like he's not getting traded right now anyway. How is this thing going to play out? What is your best guess telling you how this will play out?
Well, with Skubal, I think the odds of him being traded are very slim at this point. I think that for a couple of reasons. One, if you trade him, you're going to alienate a big part of your fan base. And I don't think that the Tigers are really interested in that right now. Two, if you trade him, are you giving up on this season? You know, you've got the best pitcher in baseball for 1 year. You know, maybe you go for it and try to, get over the hump from the last 2 years and make it further than the ALDS. So I think they're too far removed. I don't think the return would be as good as it would have been, say, last year or, before last year or even at the deadline at 24. So I think he's going to remain a Tiger. But here's the interesting thing, Ryan, and it ties in with the Tigers and their TV situation too. The offseason is not over. There are people out there that can be signed that can make an impact, especially on the starting pitching front, to help this team. But here's the thing. The Tigers have their arbitration hearing with Skubal on Wednesday. They say $19 million. He says $32 million. If the Tigers lose that, that's going to impact what they do for the free agency moving forward. And by the way, they're already losing money because of the TV situation. They're getting millions less in rights fees. So those two things combined are going to play a major impact in how the Tigers approach the rest of the offseason. They win the arbitration, they could add more players to the roster before they report to spring training in a week and a half.
I got about 10 seconds before a hard break. Justin Verlander?
No.
Tony Paul, baby. That's why we pay you the big bucks, Tony Paul of the Detroit News. I appreciate it, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Tigers, baby. Get ready to play some baseball in the Motor City. In Lakeland, I should say. Back to the phone lines, top of the hour. Also, John James later this hour. 760 WJR.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? 800-951-6541. 800-951-6541 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus Media station.
This is a Fox News alert. A vote to end the government shutdown. I'm Lisa Brady. The House just passing the deal made in the Senate to fund most of the government through September, but Homeland Security only until February 13th, allowing time for talks as Democrats demand changes in immigration enforcement policies.
Some of the folks that ICE is taking came in here legally through legal processes last year. And if the Trump administration doesn't like that, they've got to change the law.
California Congressman Ted Lieu also accusing federal agents of abuse of force after 2 protesters were killed during confrontations in Minneapolis. House Speaker Mike Johnson says some of what Democrats want is already happening, including body cameras for agents. But he says funding for ICE is already front-loaded for several years, warning Democrats against blocking DHS funding once time runs out on the stopgap bill.
So what they will be tying up if the Democrats choose to close the government is these very essential services for everything else: FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and other aspects of national security. So it's a very dangerous game that they're playing.
For now, the bill ending the current partial shutdown is heading to the president's desk. Iranian news agencies are claiming a drone completed a surveillance mission in international waters after the U.S. military said an Iranian drone was aggressively approaching a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea and was shot down. CENTCOM also reporting U.S. military intervention after 2 Iranian gunboats threatened to seize a U.S.-flagged oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. So far, direct talks between the U.S. and Iran are still scheduled for Friday. Investigators in Arizona say the search for Nancy Guthrie continues. The mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, believed to have been taken from her home.
Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one.
FBI Special Agent in Charge John Edwards, the Pima County Sheriff, says so far no evidence points to a suspect. America is listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties, a trusted source for rental property management for over 3 decades. They handle the advertising, cleaning, and repairing of your rental. Let the experts at North Bloomfield Properties manage your investment property. You can enjoy your weekends again. Visit northbloomfield.com. We've got a wreck blocking your right lane on I-94 westbound after 8 Mile Road. I-94 westbound between Mount Hope and Race Road. We have some construction blocking your left lane. You're slow from Clear Lake Road. That's going to be that way until midnight. And that wreck on I-96 westbound after the Davison has cleared. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Variable clouds and snow showers today. A little bit of sunshine peeking in right now. A high of 28 for today. Mostly cloudy tonight. We'll drop down to 11. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 23. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
The winter weather has turned dangerous. With temperatures dropping well below freezing, staying safe isn't just a choice, it's a priority. If you or someone you know is without heat or safe place to stay, help is available right now. All Detroit Public Library branches and city recreation centers like Adams Butzel, Heilman, and Patton are open as daytime respite sites during their regular business hours. For those in need of emergency overnight shelter, the Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries at 13130 Woodward Avenue is operating as a walk-in standby site, no referral needed. If you're currently outside in your car or facing a housing crisis, call the Detroit Housing Resource Helpline at 866-313-2520. It's available 24/7 during this extreme cold. If it's after hours and you can't make the call, go to any Detroit police precinct. They will help connect you to a warm bed and safe transportation. Don't wait until it's too late. Check on your neighbors, especially seniors. Let's look out for one another, Detroit.
Let's breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Exhale very slowly. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Say hello to another great voice. This is JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermanni on 760 WJR.
Hour number 2 of the program, straight ahead here on 760 WJR. Thanks so much for making us part of your day. A trade in the NBA. The Pistons involved in a 3-way deal here as we begin the hour. The Pistons, the top team in the Eastern Conference of the NBA, they get Kevin Huerter, Dario Saric, and a first-round pick protected from Minnesota. They send Jaden Ivey to the Chicago Bulls. There's some other players involved there, but those are the particulars for the Detroit Pistons. Meanwhile, we want to welcome you if you are watching on YouTube as well. Just go to YouTube, search 760 WJR. You can see us here in the palatial studios at 760 WJR, high atop the Fisher Building here in Midtown Detroit. Now, earlier in the show, we were talking about voter ID and Nicki Minaj. CNN had all of this polling done regarding how people feel about voter ID. Overwhelmingly, 83% of the American people believe they are in favor of some form of photo ID. Also, when you break it down by party, the Republicans, 95% believe in voter ID. Democrats, 71%. So they believe in it as well. If you break it down by race, 82% of Latinos believe in voter ID. 76% of African Americans believe in voter ID. What are we waiting for, ladies and gentlemen? Why has the SAVE Act not been passed yet? Shirley in St. Clair Shores, you are on 760 WJR. How you doing, Shirley? Thanks for holding on.
I'm great. I wanted to let you know about I received a petition from the desk of Ruth Johnson, and she's our senator, and she wants a petition to amend the Constitution in Michigan starting at November of 2027, prohibiting the ballots being voted by non-citizens, and they have to have photo ID or driver's license before they can possibly vote. And I just thought I'd let you know that I received this in the mail the other day, maybe about 2 days ago. And on this envelope, it says not junk mail, stop non-citizens from voting in Michigan. And,
well, that's something, Shirley, that's definitely something to look into. Maybe we can have State Senator Ruth Johnson in to talk about that. Thanks so much for the call, Shirley. Let me get to Dennis in Columbus. You're on 760 WJR. How you doing, Dennis?
Good, Ryan. How you doing today?
Fantastic, my friend.
I have another issue that possibly, I wouldn't say trumps it, but a common sense issue that you were talking about.
Okay.
Daylight savings time.
Yes. Yes. I would love for I would love for that. Right. There's about 83% approval on that too, right?
Yep. And if they can't agree on it, just go with a half an hour. Split the difference, and everybody can be happy.
There you go. Just start time all over again. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it. Let me get to David in Bowling Green. How you doing, David? You're on 760 WJR.
Thank you for giving me time to talk. The issue is the SAVE Act is more complicated than just voter ID. But the real issue is this. For example, you mentioned that California and Oregon do not require voter ID.
Correct.
Well, that's correct, and it's incorrect at the same time for this reason. To vote California, because I've got it on my computer right now, you have to register. And these states that don't require voter ID at the polls have already registered these people. And in order to register, you have to provide a driver's license or a state ID card.
Well,
you have to.
Yes.
Well, what I'm saying
no,
is
you're absolutely right about that. You're. I just want to say you're right about that. You could register to vote, but you could register by mail. You could just have, and that's the distinction, right?
That's right. You still have to provide proof of who you are.
Well,
and what I'm saying, because I've worked the polls,
yeah.
And what I'm saying is that you and the penalties, and they're very rare that they ever get a. There are people that vote incorrectly, but there are 2 or 3 people out of millions of votes.
Yeah.
And so the point I'm making is that it isn't just an open, just show up and vote and go around and vote 5 or 6 different places. You can't do that.
David, you're absolutely right about that. I agree with you on that. You can register to vote, but there are a million different ways to register. This would require you to actually have a voter ID to actually cast a ballot, not just register to vote. So we agree on that point. So I see where you're saying that is, but that is the discrepancy here, right? I mean, I guess depending upon how you want to look at it, anybody could register to vote. I mean, you could. It's against the law, obviously, but look, fraud is a major problem. Clearly in a lot of different states. Just look at Minnesota now. So why would it be any different when it comes to the voter rolls? Guys, let me put a pin in this. A long-running fight over restitution tied to former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick has taken a new turn. For more on this, WJR's Marie Osborne brings us the details. Hey, Marie.
And hi, Ryan. So newly filed federal court records show that Kwame Kilpatrick has quietly agreed to a plan requiring him to repay more than $823,000 owed to the taxpayers, a debt stemming from his public corruption conviction more than a decade ago. This agreement was approved by the U.S. District Judge Nancy Edmonds, gives federal prosecutors the authority to collect from any income streams that Kilpatrick may receive. We're talking potential pension benefits. Details of this payment plan are sealed because they contain personal finance information, so they had to be sealed. This move comes after the government placed a lien on property that was connected to Kilpatrick and a consulting firm that was linked to his wife. That firm owns about a $1 million home in Novi. Prosecutors also secured a separate order allowing continued garnishment of the Michigan legislative retirement system. Restitution was part of Kilpatrick's 2013 racketeering case in which he was accused of running a criminal enterprise out of City Hall. Now, his prison sentence was commuted in 2021, but the financial penalties remain. And Ron, prosecutors say Kilpatrick eventually stopped making even minimal payments despite evidence he was living comfortably and generating income through consulting work and book sales and online fundraising.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but Kwame Kilpatrick is obviously one of the most lightning rod figures in the history of Detroit politics, certainly. And no matter what his name is in the news for, it is big news whenever his name is raised. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yes, and it's an agreement. We'll see if he sticks to it.
That's it right there, Marie. That's it right there. We can make all the agreements we want, but will you stick with it?
Yeah,
with Kwame or anybody. Thanks, Murray. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey, coming up next, we are expected to be joined by United States Congressman. He's running for governor in the state of Michigan. John James expected to join us next. We look forward to that conversation, and we're giving tickets away as well in just a little bit. Stay tuned for that. 760 WJR.
The CJ Pearson Show.
Every week, we'll take on the biggest cultural, political, and moral battles in America head on.
CJ presents the most passionate voices in the Black community.
When you're going around and talking to people in actual communities, you get to know what people actually care about.
As a Black man, why can't I be the first one in my family to graduate from college? Why can't it be me?
Yeah.
Shift the way that I think about the world.
Bold truth, real conviction, zero permission. This is the CJ Pearson Show.
The CJ Pearson Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
DFCU Financial moves at your pace and provides speed to market, flexibility, and direct access to decision makers. Go to dfcufinancial.com today. See site for details.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
We've got some slowdowns on I-94 westbound just after 8 Mile due to an accident blocking your right lane. Expect delays on 75 northbound between the Davison and 8 Mile. And we still have some construction on I-94 eastbound between Van Dyke and Gratiot. That's causing slow traffic from the Lodge. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Cold weather continuing. It may release its grip just a bit by the end of the week, but colder for the upcoming weekend again. We'll talk about that in the coming days. Today, somewhere around 25, partly sunny, not too bad this afternoon. Some clouds tonight and a little bit colder at around 6-7 degrees. Suburbs a little colder. Wednesday looks good. Your hump day forecast, sunshine, low 20s. Thursday, partly sunny at about 25. Still like the chance of at least some snow Friday, low 30s. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Weekday mornings, it's veteran storyteller and award-winning journalist Kevin Dietz, breaking down the headlines Michiganders are talking about. Kevin talks, and then you talk on All Talk, 9 a.m. to noon on 760 WJR.
.760 WJR. Glad to have you along with us on this Tuesday afternoon. And it is a pleasure to be joined now by United States Congressman. He's running for governor in the state of Michigan as well. John James joins us now. Congressman, how are you, sir?
Man, Ryan, I'm doing great. Just doing my best to stay warm, just like all our listeners out there. Stay warm out there, guys. Stay safe.
Congressman, I was telling my producer, Beth Ann Long, I did see in a 10-day forecast that we have a 40 somewhere down the road here on the 10 days. So hopefully you can warm up a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. 40. That's probably going to be the margin that Michigan's going to beat their next opponent in the basketball game. So I'm looking forward to both the temperature and the blowout.
Amen to that. Hey, Congressman, I wanted to ask you real quick. It happened in the last hour or so. U.S. House passed the funding bill. These things go back and forth all the time. I mean, it's incredible that the government seems to shut down at this rate. What's it like to be involved in something like that?
It's embarrassing, Ryan. I come from the military where it's mission first, people always. You accomplish the mission, no excuses. Not so in Washington, D.C. I come from a business background where you serve all of your people, your customers, no excuses, customer service first. Not so in Washington, D.C. We have these poor excuses for leaders, and they're failing to put the people that sent them here first. And so I'm doing my very best to make sure that I support President Trump's agenda to put money back into people's pockets, to bring jobs back, to bring hope, to make our streets safer, making sure that we secure our border and making sure that we're growing jobs and making sure that we protect parental rights. But there are a few of us here, and we're fighting, and I'm looking forward to bringing that fighting spirit, but also the ability to work with folks who don't care about what political party you're in, but just want to make life better for Michiganders. We've been all over the state, and the message is resonating, which is the reason why I'm leading in the polls. And I'm excited to continue to listen and learn before I lead, because people, frankly, they're concerned about affordability. They're concerned about safety. They're concerned about stability. And a truly tested leader is one that's going to be best to make sure to be able to bring that home, because Michiganders deserve it.
And there's no doubt about that. I mean, you look at any poll, you have a big lead on the Republican side, and you're leading in the general as well. You've also raised a ton of money. I'm looking at $10.3 million in 2025. Look, right now, in addition to meeting people and going out and seeing what people need from their government, it's about raising money. You are doing that. 18,000 individual supporters, $10.3 million. I mean, Congressman, that's a lot of money to raise. Your voice is being heard. When you talk to people out there on the campaign trail, what are some of the things that they need from you? What are some of the things they want from their next governor to help them along with?
They want the government to stay the heck out of their way. They want a government that works and doesn't embarrass them. That's why my focus has been on ethics and transparency. Right now in Lansing, you can't trust what comes out of that town. They've taken our tax dollars and squandered it, and they're taking our trust and they've squandered it. And so that's why I led with an accountability and ethics and transparency plan. We're going to bring real transparency back to Lansing, full financial disclosures from leaders, and I'm going to lead the way, sharing my personal finances. And so the people in the state of Michigan know that as governor, I am making decisions in their best interest and not my own. We're going to end fraud, waste, and abuse. We're going to audit the state and your tax dollars. We're going to audit the government, not you, so that you know that money is being well spent. We get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. We're going to protect whistleblowers as well. We're going to end the corruption revolving door. We're going to stop politicians from cashing in as lobbyists. We're going to limit earmarks and ban fundraising during session. We're going to raise academic standards and make sure that parental rights are protected. And finally, I have a clear initiative, the COVID Legal Enforcement Accountability Relief Initiative. We're going to audit COVID enforcement, clear unjust penalties, refund unfair fines, limit emergency powers, and guarantee constitutional rights never disappear again like they did under the Whitmer administration. We have a lot to do to earn back the people's trust. And as somebody who grew up with the honor code at West Point, a cadet will not lie, cheat, steal, nor tolerate those who do, it's past time to bring ethics back to state government.
Talking to John James, United States Congressman running for governor in the state of Michigan. Congressman, let me ask you about you talk about the economy in the state of Michigan and how much money people have in their pockets. In the Detroit News today, it was just revealed that Michigan households reported a median income of $72,000. That's 15% less than the United States median income and ranks 37th among all states. That is a problem. Where economically the money that people have in their pockets, the money that Michigan households have, is 15% less than the national average. How do you go about combating that and putting more money in the pockets of Michiganders?
That's a great question, and I'm really glad you asked it. Affordability is a function of how much money you have left in your pocket after you get done paying all your taxes and paying for things. We're going to look at things like targeted tax breaks, lowering taxes, income taxes, and property taxes. We're going to look at making sure that young people can afford houses. We're going to make sure that we're focusing on entrepreneurship so that large and small businesses and everywhere in between have the opportunity to grow and make money. We're also going to make sure that we're focusing on making sure that the money that people are paying in taxes are not wasted. It's absolutely shameful that we have a state that people who've never run a business before are running to be the CEO of a state. I think that by looking at things that will increase the business environment for small businesses and for large businesses will help create jobs and make Michigan more attractive. And finally, and I can't overstate this enough, energy. Our energy prices are through the roof. We need an all of the above energy approach that makes sure that the energy solutions that we have actually work, that it's abundant, that it's economical, and that it's safe. We're going to be looking at nuclear. We're going to be making sure that we keep our energy prices down. And if a business comes in that takes a whole lot of energy, like data centers, if there are overages, then that entity should pay for it, not the taxpayers. These are all things that go into making things cheaper and more effective. Looking at our agriculture industry, making sure that our ag sector is strong so that we can grow and eat things in the state of Michigan, and that will keep our prices low as well. So this is an all-encompassing approach that is going to increase choices, is going to lower cost, and everywhere that you've seen population grow around the country, there are red states with Republican governors with conservative policies where there's population growth. And you've seen under Gretchen Whitmer, we've had population decreasing relative to other states in the country, and that's true for blue states with liberal policies and Democrat governors. We know the right formula. We just need to execute, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
Congressman, I led the show today with this population shift that's happening in this country. The states that gain the most population, North Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arizona, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Idaho, Nevada, all 10 of those states were states that Donald Trump won in 2024, and the states that are losing the most population, California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, Colorado, Maryland, Massachusetts, Hawaii, Connecticut, Louisiana. Kamala Harris won 9 of those states outside of Louisiana. There seems to be a clear shift in where people are leaving and where people want to go.
People are voting with their feet, and it seems like since Bill Milliken, after Milliken, you got Blanchard, Democrat, and then you got Engler, Republican, and then you got Granholm, Democrat, and then you got Snyder, Republican, and you got Whitmer, Democrat. We're ready for a Republican governor that's going to put us back on the right track, that's going to be focused more on academics than activism in school, that's going to be focused more on tax, tort, and regulatory reform to create an environment for job growth in businesses where we're not just looking at creating jobs, we're creating job creators where people can have a better life. My father came from the Jim Crow South, not just for a job, but for a better life. And he was able to start a company with 1 truck, 1 trailer, and no excuses, and pass that on to his children. That's a story of generational wealth that is within my lifetime. And that is possible here with leaders who understand what it takes to get it done because they've done it before. No one's even talking about the security threats out there of being probed by China and being a northern border state. We have to have somebody in this role who understands what it takes to keep Michiganders safe because they've done it before. These are all critical matters because if we don't have someone who's focused on the 5 fundamentals, which is academic excellence, economic mobility, public safety, healthy families, and accountable government, then Ryan, we're going to continue this decline. We have it within our power as Michiganders. We don't have to imagine what's possible. We just have to remember this is the arsenal of democracy. We put the world on wheels. We feed the world. We beat the Russians without firing a shot and won World War II. We have greatness in our DNA in Michigan. We can tolerate these winners and not even blink. We have greatness, but we need the right leaders who understand that it's the people who are going to be the solution, not Lansing. And being able to bring accountability and leadership is exactly what we need, and it's exactly what I'm ready to bring.
Congressman, I've got one more question left, and I could probably talk to you about this for the next 2 hours, maybe even the next 24 hours. But education in Michigan, I hear about it all the time. It's a total disaster. It's not right, and it needs to be fixed. How big of a priority will this be for you?
Massive priority. But you know what? I'll tell you what, Ryan, if we don't have ethics and transparency, if we don't drill down on the fraud, waste, and abuse, then all the promises that these politicians
100%.
are making in education isn't going to amount to a couple of beans. You talk about the Mississippi Miracle out there. Well, they're spending $6,000 less per pupil than we are in the state of Michigan. And you know why? Because Michigan has more Southeast Michigan has more school districts in it than the entire state of Florida. The amount of money that we're spending on overhead is being siphoned away from the students and the teachers in the classrooms. There is no oversight from the parents. We protect parental rights and stop these things or pulling the wool over the eyes of parents where people can get in between that. And then finally, we need to bring accountability into the school system. And so we make sure that we are drilling down and making sure that these educators are actually accomplishing the mission of giving our kids the tools to have a better and brighter future.
Awesome conversation, sir. I cannot wait to do it again. Thank you so much for your time and continued success out there on the campaign trail, my friend. Thanks so much. John James, Republican candidate for the great state of Michigan, running for governor here on 760 WJR.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by NECA IBEW Local 58. Count on the powering Michigan team of IBEW 58 skilled electricians and NECA signatory contractors for your next commercial, industrial, public, or residential construction project. The best electricians, the best electrical contractors, period. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com. An accident blocks your right lane on I-94 westbound after 8 Mile. That's causing stop-go from 9 Mile. We've got some slow traffic on the northbound Southfield Freeway between I-96 and Grand River Avenue, and expect delays on I-75 northbound between the Davison and 8 Mile. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Over 60% of us will use our tax refunds toward a home improvement project this year. Upgrade your roof with Weather Seal Home Improvements and add an extra $1,000 to your refund toward your new roof. That's a smart deal. Book your roof inspection today at weathersealhomeimprovement.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net. Variable clouds and snow showers with a high of 28 today. Mostly cloudy tonight. We'll drop down to 11. Partly cloudy for tomorrow with a high of 23. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, gang, it's Ryan Ermanni here. I want to tell you about my friends at Game Day Men's Health in Plymouth. I've been working with them since mid-October, and in that time, and I mean this, I have never felt better in my adult life. I've lost 26 pounds. I'm using them for weight loss, but they specialize in personalized, science-backed men's health treatments, testosterone replacement, peptide, medical weight loss, all designed specifically for men. But at Game Day Men's Health in Plymouth, it is more than just an online point-and-click transaction. I just had my personal check-in. These are real people helping us with real results. Every treatment plan is customized to meet your specific needs. Do yourself a favor. Call them today for a complimentary consultation. 734-927-1718. That number again, 734-927-1718. Game Day Men's Health on Ann Arbor Road in Plymouth. 734-927-1718.
This is Maria Monti, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. Business taxes shouldn't be done in a vacuum. Owners should integrate their personal taxes, wealth management, and
Coming in 3, in 2. The Pistons make a big trade. The Pistons, coming in 3, in 2. Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, the Pistons with a major trade shipping Jaden Ivey off to the Chicago Bulls. Are they done? We'll talk about that and so much more. 760 WJR.
We're all purposeful warriors who have power to define a better world. Catch Focus noon till 2 as we broadcast live. Special coverage is sponsored by DFCU Financial. For tickets and more information, visit econclub.org.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do? My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday. All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
The Mega Millions drawing comes on.
Tonight's winning numbers are...
You look at your ticket.
Whoa.
A little luck could go a long way.
Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $323 million.
More than just a radio show. It's an entertaining daily look at the heart of the community.
I'm Mitch Albom.
And I'm Ken Brown.
And our show, The Mitch Albom Show, is one that makes you laugh and think
and feel at home after a long day at work.
The Mitch Albom Show, making a difference in your life.
So if the guy in the car next to you is laughing, they're listening to the Mitch Albom Show.
4 till 6 p.m. on 760 WJR.
Seven 760 WJR. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. Big caller number 9, 800-859-0WJR, 800-859-0957. Caller number 9 is going to win a pair of tickets to see Tim McGraw in concert. 760 WJR welcomes 3-time Grammy Award-winning country music superstar Tim McGraw to Pine Knob Music Theater on Friday, August 28th. See him live with special guests 49 Winchester on his Pawn Shop Guitar Tour 2026. For a bonus chance to win, text keyword McGraw, MCGRAW, to 800-859-0957. For official rules, visit WJR.com. Tickets available for purchase starting 10 a.m. this Friday, February 6th at Ticketmaster. So there you have it. I want to thank Congressman John James joining us on the program today. He is running for governor in the state of Michigan, and I love it when our elected leaders speak to the constituents. And I love it when people come on and are candid and talk to you. I don't consider them talking to me. I consider them talking to you. We put the invite out there. I think it's so important that you hear from people that are on ballots, that are in charge of voting on things that matter to you. And I cannot thank Congressman James enough for that. And we hope to have him back at some point soon. And we hope to have everybody running for governor, for Senate, for anything that matters in the state of Michigan. You have a home here on 760 WJR. I'll talk to anybody. And again, you know, I've been accused of asking very simple questions. And I'll tell you, it is incredible how difficult some may find a simple question to answer. It's almost like a talk to me like I'm a third grader kind of thing, because I think when you put things in easy terms, people really don't have an answer for it. And I'm not saying that's what happened with Congressman James, and it certainly did not. Perfect example of this would be, why don't you vote for voter ID? Now, I didn't even waste my time on asking Congressman James about that, because he did vote for that, and he was in the House that passed it. He was in the United States House session that passed that vote. So I'm not going to waste a question, very limited time with our guests, and I'm not going to ask them about that. I would ask somebody who voted no for that. Why would you vote no on voter ID? What is the against here when it comes to our elected leaders, when the American public overwhelmingly supports it? Why would you vote no on something like that? Get to the phone lines. Bring in Alex in Brighton. How you doing, Alex? You are on 760 WJR, my friend. Alex, good afternoon. Thanks for waiting. Are you there, Alex?
Hello.
Hello. How are you, buddy?
Hey, did you hear me?
Can you take me off speaker? Are you on the speaker?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go for it.
Okay. I'm a Democrat and I'm for voter ID, but the problem I have is we don't make it easy enough for people like old people, or in rural areas, people who might have to work 2 or 3 jobs to put food on the table. And we need to say, how do we get voter ID to all the people who can vote? And that's it.
But Alex, do you think that people that work 2 or 3 jobs don't have identification?
But that's not. They can't even vote.
Why?
Because they can't get away from their jobs, because the only reason people have 2 or 3 jobs is because they need the money. So they can't. We don't give people time off to vote. But I think we need, and we have all these ways now to identify ourselves, like on our computers and such like that. Why not fingerprints too?
Well, I mean, if you want a finger, like if you don't even want a card though, Alex. You're not going to fingerprint, so it puts somebody in the system. I mean,
well, why not?
Well,
why not?
I mean, that's another level of identification. That's for sure.
I can go on my computer now and put in my fingerprint as a password.
Yeah.
So we can do it. We're technical people. But anyway, great show.
Thank
have a
you,
great
Alex.
day.
I appreciate that perspective, Alex. Thank you so much. Let me get to John in Chesterfield. You'll have the last word on this, John. Thanks for the call.
Okay, we have Jocelyn Benson. She's the Secretary of State. I would like to know why she mails out ballots to any occupant in any house. She hasn't cleaned up her voter rules, let alone trying to get voter IDs. Jocelyn Benson's running for governor. Pete Lucito's running for Secretary of State. Clean up the voter rules first. Well, do that too.
Pete Lucito's running for Secretary of State? Is that news to me?
It was in the Macomb Daily. That's what I read. He's trying to take Jocelyn Benson's job.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to look at that. I did not. Shame on me. I did not see that. John, I can ask that if the secretary comes on, I will ask her that. Fair enough. Good. Steve Courtney coming up next, 760 WJR.
Hi, it's Will W. here again from my friends at Victor's Home Solutions. The Michigan winter is especially hard on the roof of your home. Victor's recommends you keep an eye out for signs of winter roofing problems, icicles hanging from your gutters, uneven snowmelt on your roof, or even water stains on your ceiling. If you see any of these, don't wait. Call the roofing experts at Victor's Home Solutions. You see, unlike a lot of roofers in the area, Victor's doesn't shut down during the winter. They know your roof problems can't wait until spring. They can be at your home within 24 hours, do a free 21-point inspection on your roof, diagnose the issue, and recommend a solution. And if it is time for a new roof, their highly trained installation teams will install it perfectly the first time, clean up after themselves, and leave your home and yard nicer than how they found it. So if you see signs of winter roofing problems, don't wait. Set up your free no-obligation roof inspection and estimate today. 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS. Or online at victors.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Breakfast burritos for the morning brainstorm. Easy Cater. Paninis for the lunch and learn. Easy Cater. Barbecue for the clients from Boston. Easy Cater. Brownie boxes and mini bundt cakes for Brenda's workiversary. Easy Cater. One simple platform to feed any size group with food they love from favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Easy Cater. All the food for your workplace, all in one place. Start an order at easycater.com.
For many retirees, changes to interest rates could mean your lump sum options will reduce. Choosing between a lump sum and monthly pension options, like all retirement decisions, shouldn't be an emotional decision. It's a math problem. Most people and professionals are doing the wrong math. Hi, I'm Kirk Cassidy, lead instructor for the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program, and the co-host of the Retirement Education Hour, heard here Saturday, 6 a.m. and 1 p.m. A complete retirement plan should guide every major decision in order to maximize efficiency. If you want to retire early, spend more, and reduce your anxiety, join us for our near master's level 8-hour retirement education courses, where we have taught tens of thousands of families with assets between $1 to $20 million. To register for a course or watch updated webinars, visit refedu.org. That's refedu.org. Classes are held at major universities in Michigan and Missouri. $29 tuition goes to charity. Courses are sponsored by the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Groundhog Day at ThumbcoastTheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Groundhog Day this February, a laugh-out-loud comedy about reliving the same day and messing it up in every possible way. Book your tickets today at ThumbcoastTheaters.com. We still have that wreck on I-94 westbound after 8 Mile, blocking your right lane. You're slow from 9 Mile there. And we picked up an accident blocking your 2 right lanes on I-275 southbound. Before Michigan Avenue, you're slow from Ford Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
A good push of cold air continuing to push back in here. Temperatures tomorrow morning, maybe about 10 degrees colder than earlier today. 25, partly sunny today. Tonight, a few clouds around, and around 6-7 degrees. Suburbs may be closer to 0, especially west and north. And Wednesday, pretty good looking day with sunshine, but a little bit colder. 22. Thursday, partly sunny, 25, and maybe some snow in here Friday, which could start Thursday night after midnight. Friday's high near freezing, 32. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Doesn't that music just take, like, if you ever had a proud face where you're like, just, you think you're cool, you're feeling that music. You know who's cool? Steve Courtney's cool. That's good music right there. Steve Courtney, how you feeling today?
I am doing exceptionally well. Thank you for your genuine concern there, Mr. Ryan. Hopefully you're feeling the same there, sir.
Feeling good, looking good, and I felt a lot cooler when the music was being played. I was just like bobbing my head, like, feeling good.
Brings me back to the Shaft era.
Right, yes.
John Shaft.
Yeah.
The NBA trade deadline, Ryan, coming up a couple days from now on the 5th, it's going to go into effect at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Well, Trajan Langdon, the fine general manager of the Pistons, already busy. You see, the Bulls, the Timberwolves, and your Detroit Pistons have agreed to a multi-team deal that sends 23-year-old Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley to the Bulls, Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. Kevin Huerter, 27 years old. He's played in 44 games, averaging 10.9 points per game, 2.6 assists, but he is somewhat of a sharpshooter. 31.4% from beyond the arc. Now, Dario Saric has only played in 5 games this year, and chances are better than not he will be on the move once again because of salary and all that stuff. Jaden Ivey, I think we were all rooting for the kid. Enjoyed what he provided going through that broken leg and everything else. 33 games played, 16.8 minutes per game. 8.2 points per game to go along with 1.6 assists, and we're going to throw in a half a steal. So Trajan Langdon underway for the NBA trade deadline again coming up Thursday at 5. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are I was at the Pistons game on Sunday, and I just looked at Jaden Ivey. I was actually watching him more than any other player, and I just felt like he needed a new jersey. Like he needed a new uniform. It just felt like he just didn't have something. Something was missing, and I hope a change of scenery will help that young man. I'm a big fan of Jaden Ivey. I'm rooting for him like crazy, but it just wasn't going to happen here.
I'm just sitting here thinking, which I know is a very dangerous thing. You're Trajan Langdon. You've got a ball club that's 36-12 right now. And when you go in and have a conversation about potential moves with JB Bickerstaff, the all-star coach, what do you do? It's a very fine line,
It's
is
so
it not?
funny. It's so funny you said that. So I'm at the Pistons game the other night with 3 other guys, and we were talking, and you look at this team, and you're like, okay, what do they need? What are you willing to give up? And I know we here in Detroit fall in love with our teams, and we fall in love with our young players, and we fall in love with our guys. But we literally were like, do you even make a big splash? Who are you getting rid of? Are you getting rid of Ron Holland? Are you getting rid of,
Right.
who are you getting rid of on this team? And what do you need? Are you adding you're not going to add Giannis to this mix, are you? I mean, not saying that it wouldn't be a great thing, but I mean, you're blowing everything up at that point.
But at what expense?
Yeah,
know what I mean?
are you adding who's the Anthony? Are you adding an Anthony Davis? No. Yes, at what expense are you adding a name to this team that feels like the reincarnated 2004 Detroit Pistons, where you have a team and you have a closer in Cade? I might be done.
And here's another thing to look at, Ryan, because when you make a move, it doesn't matter what sport you're talking, you're making a move for on the court, on the field, on the ice, whatever the case may be. But when you do that, what is the effect, if any, on the locker room?
Yeah.
And there's so much emphasis. Who puts a lot of emphasis on that is Brad Holmes. He knows what the temperature of the room is. And you bring in somebody who's going to ruffle it up a little bit. So there's that aspect of it too. And it's all very, very interesting when you think about it.
The only difference between Trajan Langdon and Brad Holmes, I think you saw a clear deficiency on the Detroit Lions heading into this year. You knew there was a problem at the offensive line. You knew there was a problem at the defensive line. And when you are in a championship window, you got to shore that up. Where is the major deficiency on this team? Where?
Just don't know, man.
Exactly. And if you tell
I've
me
seen a lot of them.
If you give me that part first, then I'll go to plan B. But what is the major deficiency? Maybe potentially a scorer, a go-to scorer on the second unit. I understand, but I mean, are you blowing everything up to get some score that may or may not exist on the second unit?
Well, as it turns out, the Pistons in action tonight, playing host to the Denver Nuggets. They'll tip it off at LCA at 7:00. Denver comes in, by the way, riding a 6-game road winning streak. Whatever. The Pistons are 20-5 on the home floor. Nuggets, for the record, 19-7 on the road. Two teams meeting up for just the second time this year. You'll recall the Pistons beat them 109-107 back on January 28th in Denver. Cade Cunningham led the Pistons with 22 points. Jalen Duren, by the way, averaging 18.4 points. The All-Star goes along with 10.7 boards over his last 10 games. And we also receive word that Mr. Duren, a first-time All-Star, thank you very much, has indeed accepted an invite to participate in the NBA Slam Dunk Contest, All-Star Weekend in August.
Let's go. Fantastic.
I think he is qualified.
Yes, that's great.
I
got
big goings on with the Red Wings last night, huh?
Give me 20 seconds on them.
Okay, John Gibson stopped 21 shots for his fourth shutout this season. 2-0 the final. By the way, it was the first shutout Colorado has given up since February 4th of 2025. A big 2 points for the Winged Whalers. They're going to play in Utah 9:00 tomorrow night, and then that's it until they're at Ottawa on the 26th of February because of the Olympic break.
That win last night made me feel like this year is different than the last two.
Here we go, baby.
Steve, thanks so much. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Beth Ann Long, Danielle Mason, Rich Lizitsky. I want to thank you for making us part of your day. Don't forget, if you missed any part of the show, go to YouTube. Watch us, 760 WJR. The Mitch Albom Show is next on 760 WJR.
For physical health, mental health,